The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Happy Honda Days are back for the most wonderful time of the year at Team Honda. The savings are high on every new Honda. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, you'll get top value for your trade. Happy Honda Days from Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show talking about the ever-increasing, record-setting homicide numbers here in the capital region, particularly in East Baton Rouge Parish. Recently, following this long spate of horrific murders, BRPD held a news conference right after the tragedy that beset the Riley family, the 22-year-old uncle and his 5-year-old nephew murdered in a drive-by. BRPD holding a press conference to address this issue and saying, Chief Murphy Paul, that, quote, I hear from our police officers when we're out there, Chief, we're dealing with the same individuals over and over and over again. They also revealed that they're starting to connect this group of individuals to other homicides that have occurred across the area. Now, at some point, y'all, we are going to have to get brutally honest about this. If what the chief is saying and what he is hearing from the rank and file is in fact true, we can fix this. The only question is, do we have the resolve to fix it? If I take the chief at his word that we are seeing, and this same group of individuals, many of whom, according to the chief, are juveniles, that's a pretty easy fix. One, you start holding the parents responsible. If the parent has a minor in the home, and this minor is repeatedly involved in criminal activity, particularly deadly activity, it is the parent's responsibility. And at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with a juvenile. But if you bring the hammer down on the parents, you would be amazed how quickly parents will get involved in the lives of their errant children. Secondly, and listen, y'all, as a long-time conservative, I value my wallet as much as I do your wallet. and how our tax dollars are spent. But quite frankly, the old adage is, if you want peace, prepare for war. Meaning, you want peace, better be sure you have a fully stocked, highly trained military, because there will always be someone out there that is seeking to usurp your freedoms, your rights, your liberties, and your resources. The way to be sure that they don't try to invade your country is have your military ready to defend you. If you want peace, prepare for war. Now, the same holds true when it comes to this explosion in crime. I value my wallet and my tax dollars as much as you do yours, but I also value quality of life. And if it means I have to fork over more in taxes to build a brand new, state-of-the-art, we have room for you if you choose to show us in no uncertain terms that you are either incapable or unwilling to live by the rules of a civilized society, then we have a place to put you. We had this opportunity not long ago for voters to approve a new parish prison. No, we don't want to spend no more money. We don't want to spend no money. They need to do a better job of what they have. Well, how's that working out for us? Now, I don't reside within the criminal mind, but I've got to think many of them are of the opinion, I'll take my chances because, after all, they don't have the space to lock me up. And if they do, it's only going to be for a little bit of time because, after all, they don't have the space. Guys, girls, it's decision time. And we have pussyfooted around with this long enough. We have bent over backwards. And if I could use another adage from, I want to say it was the first or the second Batman movie, where Batman says, criminals thrive on the indulgence of society. We make excuses, we come up with reasons why it shouldn't be addressed, all of these things that we do over and over again. And criminals look at us and under their breath go, suckers. Are we not yet tired of our quality of life going down the tubes? Now, since we're being brutally honest about this, another of the things that we have got to address in the community of people that look like me, black folk, it's our appreciation for education. It has long since been known that the quickest, most efficient way out of poverty is education. Yeah, but Clarence, you got to have a good job if you want people to live a certain kind of life. Well, you can only get these, quote, good jobs if you have an education. Now, here is where we as a community can fix some things. You do realize, do you not? This occurred to me a couple of years ago, and it's only gotten worse, but it occurred to me. We had people in this country give their lives, because you realize at one point in our country's history, people that looked like me, it was illegal for you to educate them. We couldn't get an education. People were beaten, bled, died, so that black folks could have the right to get an education. And what did we do to repay the sacrifices of these folks who were beaten, had dogs turned loose on them, gave their lives, lynched? How do we repay them? Well, black people are statistically the number one group of people who drop out of school. So let me get this straight. People died, were beaten mercilessly, so we could have the right to go to school. And here it is, a couple of decades later, we are the number one group of people who won't go to school. Now you tell me, what the hell is wrong with this picture? You tell me, what's wrong with this picture? We scream about economic development. You can't take part in it without an education. Now today is early National Signing Day. There's going to be all kind of media coverage, all kind of hoopla in the press about who's going to this school to play basketball, football, whatever. At what point, y'all, do we in the black community decide we want better for our kids than for them as a life ambition to want to be a rapper, a basketball player, or make it to the NFL? Aren't our kids worth more than this? Ask them. Don't take my word for it. Ask them. Young man, what do you want to be when you grow up? Top 3. Rapper, basketball player, in the NFL. We don't value anywhere near what we should value, being a productive member of society. You know, in just a couple of generations, where I grew up, all black neighborhood, ask a young person, what do you want to be when you grow up? Police officer, teacher, attorney, doctor, astronaut, fireman, army man, military service member, and the list would go on and on and on and on. Nowadays, the big 3, rapper, basketball player, football player. Now, for the record, there's nothing wrong with that. But you do realize the percentage of people that actually aspire to and end up becoming successful in those endeavors? It's an unrealistic expectation for our kids. And the fact of the matter is, the only people that can change it is us. End of discussion. First break of today's show. For the record, we're not the only ones completely out of touch with reality. We'll talk about that when we come back on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I
couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, as a longtime member of the media, it is troubling to watch an institution that at one time was arguably the most trusted in America. There was a time, believe it or not, and this is proof positive that I'm old. School. There was a time when, if nothing else, at the end of the day, you knew the media would give us the facts. We would be well informed on whatever the issue was, and from that point, we would proceed to make up our own minds regarding whatever the issue was. Well, enter the modern day media. And in case you haven't figured this out just yet, this once trusted institution has degenerated to the point where, and I am in no way, shape, or form one of those, unless it comes to the left, that you can paint with a broad brush. There are, always exceptions to any rule. I would like to think I fall into that category. I would like to think those of you that tune in regularly, particularly those of you that don't, and those of you that don't agree with my political leanings, I would like to think that you're of the opinion, you know what? If nothing else, I can count on this guy to tell me the truth. I may not like what he's going to say, but if I analyze it, if I research it, at the end of the day, I got to say, well, the guy didn't lie to me. I trust the intelligence of most of the American public to the point where my job is to simply inform you, not indoctrinate you, not lie to you, not drive an agenda through you. In recent memory, one of the most incessant drumbeats that we've heard from the left, Democrats, is that requiring ID when you vote is racist. They've already told us, black people can't get to the DMV and get ID, so that's racist. They've told us over and over and over again, requiring an individual to prove that they are who they say they are before taking part in one of our most precious, constitutionally given rights, our right to vote. It's not unreasonable to expect a person to prove that they are who they say they are. The left has gone on and on and on about this. Well, last Friday, one of, arguably, the most respected polling organizations in this country, Rasmussen, revealed a poll that says a lot about us as Americans and says more about our media. Now, the Democrats, the left, would have you believe trying to ensure the integrity of an election is racist. So Rasmussen got on their phones and started calling all across America, thousands of Americans, to ask them, how do you feel about this? Get this. Speaking of either totally out of touch or flat out lying to you. You decide which one. This new poll from Rasmussen shows 63% of Democrats say, well, no, you got to have ID to vote. How else do we know you are who you say you are? That's not racist. It's reasonable. 63% of Democrats. So let me get this straight. Black folk, most of whom vote Democrat, if 63% of your own party says it's reasonable, does that now equate to 63% of the people of the party you vote for are racist? Think about it. Think about it. If what the left is telling you is true, requiring a person to have ID to vote is racist, then apparently 63% of Democrats are racist. The people you vote for. The people who tell you it's them evil conservatives that you got to watch out for. 63% of Democrats. As a matter of fact, at the height of all this lunacy, if I remember right, 78 to 81% of black people said, nah, bruh, you gotta have ID to vote. How else can we maintain the integrity of our elections? We have to know. Willie Davis. Okay, Mr. Davis, we're glad you're exercising your constitutional right to vote. Now, can we see some ID to be sure that you are Willie Davis? Reasonable. 63% of Democrats say it's not racist, it's reasonable. But the media will have you think otherwise. Of course, now, when you consider, and this is something you probably hadn't thought about, when you consider by the end of this year alone, we are expecting over 2 million people to enter this country illegally. Meanwhile, New York City, Marty said, get a rope. They just approved allowing non-citizens the right to vote in local elections. Okay, so it's racist to require ID, and to strengthen the democracy, we're going to let people who have no right to be here vote. Now, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but thank you, God, I got a whole lot of common sense. That's why we did a commercial once. News, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense. It tells me you do realize who's going to be hurt the most by this, right? Here's a clue. Here's a clue. But the left will have you believe in everything but the truth. These are the same people, by the way, that have convinced some of y'all. I'm not going to call any ugly names. If you are in that number, you know who you are. I don't have to tell you. These are the same people that have hoodwinked you into thinking, well, yeah, it's a dude, but he identifies as a female. He ought to be on the female swim team, University of Pennsylvania. Have you been keeping up with this story? This guy who was a failure in men's swimming decides, hey, I'm a woman. Yeah, I'm a woman. So let him compete. Do you have any idea how insulting that is to women? And the backlash now is starting to explode. This guy is demolishing every single record set by female swimmers. One recently, and I was trying to think, help me out, Marty. What sports do you break down into hundreds or thousands of a second? There's track and field, automobile racing, swimming, horse racing. Those are the ones that immediately come to mind. So when you break something down into hundreds or thousands of a second, this guy recently broke a record by 38 seconds. Now think about this. I want to say it was the 14 or 1500 meter swimming event. The guy knocked 38 seconds off the record. At this rate, it's not going to be long. And maybe then the left will get it. Maybe. At some point, if we keep going the way we're going, one day in the near future, you're going to open up the, quote, record books for women's sports. And top to bottom will be nothing but the names of dudes. Now you tell me what the hell is wrong with this picture and this country. Liberals, progressives, and you have no better sense than to buy into this freaking insanity. Shame on you. Shame on you. Our country and these young women deserve a heck of a lot better than what they're getting. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get it done. When we come back, yet another example of the old saying, it's often better to be thought a fool and keep your freaking mouth shut than it is to open it and let everybody know, yep, you stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You've waited, and now Toyotathon is here at Team Toyota. Every new Toyota is on sale with end-of-year savings. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade. The selection and savings are right here for you at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Freej Jr., and I am a general dentist at Freej Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Yesterday, when talking about the verdict rendered in the Jussie Smollett fake hate crime case, we talked about a number of issues regarding it. Apologies that were due to the African American community, to the LGBT plus Q MNOP club, the Chicago Police Department, the citizens of America, and conservatives. It occurred to me, and when I saw this story, it refreshed my memory, that we did not talk about what the sentence should be. If you listen to, God forbid, the mainstream media and most other pundits, you come away thinking, well, first offense, clean record, probably will end up probation and public service. Well, yesterday, and I will be the first to admit, I never heard of this woman. I mean, I knew she had to exist unless you're on the left, in which case they will probably try to tell you it's conceivable that she's not a real person. But since I know that there is, in fact, a Beyonce, and I didn't sleep in biology class, unless she was created in a petri dish, she has to have a mother. So Beyonce's mom comes out yesterday on social media and asks, will Jussie Smollett receive the same compassion that Kyle Rittenhouse received from the jury? I mean, after all, Kyle Rittenhouse, according to her logic, killed 2 people. All Jussie did was tell a lie. Okay? Now, let me tell you where I stand on this. Dude needs to spend some time, y'all. I don't care if it's 30 days. The maximum is 3 years, each count probably running at the same time. I don't care if it's 30 days. Dude needs to go to jail. We need to send a message, y'all, that this kind of crap is not going to be tolerated. And at the end of the day, Chicago PD has already filed suit trying to recoup the $130,000 of expenditures on his behalf. If granted, Chicago PD will have been granted some relief. But what about the rest of America? What about the rest of us who were subjected to the most vile lie out there? What about the rest of us who were left picking up the pieces of race relations that this guy willingly and knowingly perpetrated upon this country? What about, and he made it a point out, they had on MAGA hats. What about we conservatives who were slandered, lied about, disparaged? What kind of relief do we get? At the end of the day, y'all, I can't sue him for the damage that I now have to try to clean up with the rest of us who love this country and understand what the media and the left are trying to do. I can't sue the guy, okay? But I can feel a little bit better if they lock his, I wish I could say what was on the tip of my tongue just now. At the end of the day, if they lock his sorry behind up, if it's only for 30 days, at least I get some measure of comfort out of this. Not to mention how you have denigrated every individual that is truly a victim of a hate crime. Does the boy who cried wolf ring a bell? How many people now will come forth because they've been victimized for no other reason other than the color of their skin, that some people are not going to believe because of this joker? This guy needs to go to jail. Send a message that we've had enough of this crap and we're not going to let you or anybody else abuse the system the way you did. And while we're at it, what's her name? Attorney General there that dropped the charges. She needs to be investigated too. When you drop the charges, then you turn around and a jury says, yeah, bro, you broke the law. Big time. 5 out of 6 counts. It's pretty obvious to most casual observers that she should have seen this. But instead, she chose to drop the charges. Now, think about this. Had she been allowed to do what she did, we never, ever would have known that it was all fake. Well, wait, let me back up. Black folk knew right off the bat, this brother's lying. We knew. Go back and Google, or duck, Dave Chappelle on Juicy Smollett. See what he says. Go back and look at, Jonathan showed me this yesterday from 2 years ago. Tracy Morgan, well-known black comedian. Google or duck duck what he said. Black folks saw it right up front. This brother, bruh, this the best you could come up with? We knew it right off the bat. She allegedly, purportedly, supposedly, this brilliant legal mind saw fit to drop the charges. Now, maybe, just maybe, there is always the distinct possibility that she just had a complete brain fart. Let's see. Charges say it is. All right, say that. Oh, no, but he's dropped them charges. Either that, or if we drop the charges, there's no trial. They can never, ever prove that it was fake. And if they can't prove that it was fake, we can ride this white supremacist, MAGA, hate black folk, beating up gay black men at 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the freaking polar vortex. We can ride this puppy all the way to the sunset. Another page straight out of the left's playbook. Never, ever let a good crisis go to waste. Juicy Smollett needs his butt in prison. I don't care if it's 30 days. I don't care if it's 3 days. Perp walk time, son. And the woman who dismissed the charges, I know that they don't have co-ed prisons, but if we did, this would be a perfect example. Let her be his cellmate. Because at the end of the day, they perpetrated a fraud on this country. And lest we forget, and for those of you that don't know, yeah, we do still have some problems with race in this country. But it's idiots like this that make the problem worse than it ever should be. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll get this out of the way. When we come back, you hadn't heard a whole lot from the mainstream media as of late about what's happening at our southern border, have you? Oh, well, apparently everything's under control. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. Unless, of course, you're talking about in 1 month, in one section of the border, 6,000 people walking in illegally from 30 different countries. But hey, Kamala Harris is on top of things. She's addressing the root causes. Never in my wildest dreams, y'all. Final break. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Mandafine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at the Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It's going to take a little longer for some of you than others, so I will indulge you. Think back to when you were a child, and for whatever reason, whatever the situation was, your parents confronted you, busted you, whatever. And you thought the best way out was to lie. Remember what the trust factor was like after that? You had to earn their trust again. And many times, they would put you in a position purposely to see, all right, has he learned his lesson? As uncomfortable as it may be, as inconvenient as it may be, is he going to choose to tell the truth or not? And depending upon which avenue you chose, that would determine where the relationship went, parent and child, from there. The same is true with politics. How many times have you heard me say, don't listen to what they say, pay attention to what they do? That is the biggest indicator of what a person is truly all about and what their respect for the truth is. So enter the Department of State for the United States federal government, releasing a statement day before yesterday saying that, quote, fewer than a dozen Americans, 4 months after the fact, are still trying to leave Afghanistan. Now, this statement from the federal government acknowledges that the Biden administration had left right at 500 Americans behind in Afghanistan. Even though at the time they told us, Joe Biden's words, not mine, it's anywhere from 100 to 200 people. So if it were 100, you were 5 times below. But leave it to the left. Can't leave one screw up well enough alone. We got to pile on. So after blowing completely the estimate of how many of our fellow Americans we left behind in Afghanistan, the press, Peter Doocy primarily, Fox News, asked Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, asked her, well, how is it that you don't have accurate numbers on how many Americans we left behind in Afghanistan? Have you noticed, by the way, how snarky she's become as of late? The closer she gets to her departure date, and she is leaving soon, the closer she gets, the more she realizes what a blank job this is that she has. She says, when the question is posed, how come y'all don't have more accurate numbers? Her response, quote, I would just reiterate, the United States does not track or put a tracker on American citizens traveling overseas. That would be quite a Fox News story, wouldn't it, if we did that? We don't do that. Okay, so how'd you come up with this number? If you aren't tracking Americans left behind in Afghanistan, how do you know what the number actually is? Uh-oh. Didn't think that one all the way through, did you, Peppermint Patty? Didn't think that one all the way through. Of course now, in case you haven't noticed, there's a pattern here, y'all. There is a very disturbing pattern here. If you can't get right a dozen people, how in the hell am I supposed to trust what you say about the number of people that have crossed into this country illegally and then shipped out all across the country in the middle of the night with no notice, no information to the councils, to the mayors, to the governors, in the vernacular of the street? Nobody. I'm supposed to believe your numbers in that regard? Again, when you messed around as a child and lied to your parents, the next time they ask you something, they probably didn't tell you this. They would never tell you this. But the next time you told them something in response, probably a setup to see if you were going to lie, they were saying in the back of their minds, let's see if you're going to lie to me this time. Knowing all along your propensity for stretching the truth. Is this what you voted for? I didn't think so. It's what you got though, Captain, ain't it? Sorry, English teachers, I didn't give y'all the heads up ahead of time. On a good day, it would be embarrassing. On a good day, it would be insulting. But as I'm sure you are all aware by now, these are not good days, y'all. When the greatest military fighting force on the planet withdraws from Afghanistan like a mangy mutt with his tail tucked between his legs, leaving fellow Americans behind. These are not good days. When crime is exploding in cities all across America, these are not good days, y'all. When inflation is the highest it's been in decades, these are not good days, y'all. When you're paying more for gas at the pump than you have in God knows how many years, due in large part to the fact that the new administration, the very first day, shut down the Keystone XL pipeline. These are not good days, y'all. And when in one single year, we are expecting in excess of 2 freaking million people entering this country illegally, being shipped to God knows where in the middle of the night, these are not good days, y'all. And the fact of the matter is, whether you believe it or not, America is a great country, and we deserve better, y'all. We deserve better than the crap we're getting from this administration. Of course, now, maybe, just maybe, they understand what's coming. You've heard me say before, there is nothing more dangerous, nothing to be more concerned about than backing an American into a corner. When you do, you got problems, son. And the Democrats understand it's coming. Just keep breathing. Rest assured, America's about sick and tired of being sick and tired. That being said, time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.